What's up? Been a little bit. We're kind of on the same shit though that I usually do, which is it's currently 12:30 and I'm still up doing shit because I can't do it during my regular time. It's been a little bit, and the reason for that is because I got 4 wisdom teeth pulled out. Tuesday, so like little less than a week ago, like 6 days ago, something like that. Um, it wasn't that bad. They kind of like they came out and yeah, it was a little swollen, whatever. But like virtually no pain. It was like really fucking simple. I got really high though, which is kind of cool. Um, I'll post a video of that eventually at some point. But yeah, dude, I'm fucking skinny as shit now because I haven't been eating. Like literally, all I've been eating is like soup. But like past few days, kind of gotten back into like regular-ish food. I ate Taco Bell today, so pretty much back to normal. Yeah, I've been wanting to make stuff. It's just couldn't talk, and I still can't like 100%. I got like back here where it came out. It's still a little like where the hole was. It's still kind of like puffed up, and same with the top one. It's kind of puffed up. So when I try and talk, those two little points kind of push against each other. Not fun, but we ball regardless. It's kind of wild because I had a bunch of shit to do the next day. So I had like Volkswagen Master Training, and I had like 3 deliveries to do next day. So like had to do all that shit, and it was kind of nuts, but made it through. Anyways, unedited channel. This what this is going on. I am kind of getting a little more of a clear vision of what I want to do, sorta ish. Um, it's a process, as all things are, and you're not gonna know 100% of the time what you want to do. Just the most important thing is just starting, just so you have like an idea of what you don't want to do, because you're not gonna start and be 100% happy with where you're at. But I think it's important to start something and kind of learn from it. And like, I mean, it's the same with like anything you want to start. It's always going to be different, like than what you actually expect, and then you got to readjust and relearn. And it's like any job that you ever do, like that you start. So like, say you work at fucking McDonald's, you have an expectation of what it's like, and say you really want to work at McDonald's, and then you start, and then there's a bunch of like small little nuanced things that you didn't really learn about. Like you can do as much digging as you want on the internet, but it's not going to be exactly what you had in mind. So that's kind of where I'm at with like everything pretty much. I was going to say like the business, which yes, it is kind of in that stage, but also just in life as well. That's how it goes. You start something, you readjust. I think that something that a lot of people kind of have in mind, and it's something that I've been kind of struggling with as well, is having like kind of like a linear perfect vision for something and wanting it to go perfectly. Like I think this was held me back from doing a lot of businesses and seeing success and stuff, and like why I haven't actually got something off the ground yet is like the approach of almost always kind of taken, and I've broken through a couple times, but with almost everything, it just gets into the planning stage of like trying to figure out the perfect business plan that's 100% going to work. And then it just never gets to the point where I actually jump into it, because it's always plan. Oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Problem is there's like a million different contingencies, and things are always going to change, and you're always going to have problems. It's never going to stay the same, and you're never going to have a plan for every sort of situation. So it's like you just need to start. If you start, then you can start working through the bugs, and like it'll fix itself over time. So that's what I'm trying to do with this thing that I'm doing now, which if you're not familiar, it's personal branding, but I'm kind of still figuring out the angle that I want to take with it. One of the problems that I've kind of ran into, because if you watched the video previous to this one, it was basically me going over how I had this idea of, hey, I want to do personal branding stuff, and like kind of my goal is to help people kind of figure out who they are and translate that into their business. So, who do you think you are? How do you want to be perceived? What do you want your brand to look like? What do you want it to embody? And then how do you showcase that to other people who want to be involved with you in your personal brand? That's cool and all, and I'd still like to do that in the future. I think the only problem is like, how do I have the credibility to give advice on something like that without having a strong personal brand myself? So that's why I've kind of split up the channels, and I'm doing it kind of more personal talking on this one, where I'm just being real face to face. And then on the other one, that's the one I kind of want to build a little bit more, but not necessarily like being unauthentic. I still want to be authentic. That's my, I think that's a very important thing for business. But you want to be like, what I want to do with the other one is kind of a little more informative and a little bit more consumable, something that people can follow along with. And if they want the reality boring version, which you might not find this boring, but this is literally just me yapping and like just talking, right? So this is not as fun to watch as say something that's heavily edited, a lot of jump cuts, a lot of like, key points information. You're not getting all the random me just spouting off into other random topics. You go to the video and you get exactly what you're looking for, and the content is there and it's full and it's ready to go straight out of the box, instead of me pressing record, going and kind of figuring it out as I'm talking, right? So that's why I've kind of split this up. I want to grow the other one and then keep it real on this one. But here's kind of the angle that I'm going for. Keep my super professional setup right here. Got the mug, my books, the stand, and this little I'll turn that back on in a second. This is probably all backwards because I'm recording face cam first. But yeah, we got a new Notion page set up. I had to tear down the Gover Digital one. I just want to show you like how much I be talking to AI. Maybe it's a problem, but like, dude, you can totally talk to this thing as if it were a person, and like it'll totally like outline a lot of shit for you. Like huge thread of talking to this thing. Anyways, I don't know if that's like weird or creepy or not. Probably a little bit, like motherfuckers just talking to AI. But like, it's really nice to have as a tool where it's like you can ask somebody for advice, but the person has access to all known human information. Like, it's crazy. Like, if you want a specific niche or an idea or anything, you can just go straight to it and say, hey, I like this part, change this. Okay, here's a new thought, all written out. Hey, I like this part, change this. And it's just instant. You don't have to do a bunch of digging. It like seriously cuts down the research time to this instead of right here. So maybe that's something we change in the future. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm kind of reworking it from a little bit of a different angle, at least in the beginning stages for the personal branding thing. So kind of current idea we're working with, which I might change in the future, is still doing it's almost like an audit, if that makes sense. So I have like a list of potential people that I might want to reach out to and have them do it for free, just because I need a proof of concept for this. But basically it would be loading into like a form, or we even call it a quiz, excuse me. So it's basically a quiz. So it's a bunch of questions, and Mr. AI wrote these all down. I swear I'm not just like cheating, making the shit do it for me, but it's nice to have it all kind of outlined, and then I can kind of go through and edit it myself. It's nice to have some ideas in there. So I haven't edited it yet, but questions like, okay, yeah, so question one, what's your name? If you could be known for one thing, what would it be? What best describes you right now? So that's warm up, identity check. Section 2, self-discovery and values. So like kind of figuring out Which of these values feels most like you? Integrity, growth, freedom, legacy, leadership, service, creativity, truth, adventure, etc., etc. What's something people have always come to you for? What's something that, which I might change this question. What's something you've been through that shaped who you were, or who you are, excuse me. Branding, energy, and audience, and then if it didn't cut out, I got a 20% battery thing. Visibility, comfort, and preferences, just like how comfortable are you being visible online, scale 1 to 10, which of these best describe you? I don't want to post at all, I'm okay with posting, but not often. Post more if I had a plan, post regularly, want to stay behind the scenes. Like, just kind of a questionnaire to kind of figure out where they're at in their process, what their goal is. So seeing if they want to move towards, like, where was the thing, outlines it a little better here. Trying to figure out what the focus is. So is it like clarity, where you're kind of figuring out your message and identity? What was the other one? Alignment. This is like so much smarter than me. Like, I can't think of the actual words, but I got the picture for it. So alignment, make sure your online presence reflects who you are, or visibility, which is basically just like your online presence and a strategy for that. Figuring out which of those you want to kind of go for, where you're at in your process, what you want to be known for. I'm kind of just rambling, sorry. But yeah, basically what it would be is send this out to a couple of my friends who have businesses, and I guess just the biggest quality thing is making sure that they're brutally honest with me, because if it sucks, I want to know that it sucks. If everything is overwhelmingly positive and there's zero negative feedback, just because I know these people, then I'll probably try reaching out to some strangers eventually. I just kind of want this as a proof of concept. Yeah, basically kind of figuring out where they're at in their process, and then from there, giving them kind of like a breakdown of what their brand identity looks like and where maybe they can make some changes for growth. And that growth is also going to be one of the questions of like where they want to go to. So if it's like increase your social media presence, then we have a route for that. If you just want like logo design and whatever else, there's a route for that. If you want just to figure out what your brand stands for and what you want to be known for and where you kind of fit in your niche or industry, option for that. But the part I'm kind of struggling with right now is there's a lot of different topics, right? And I'm kind of relying on my intuition, which I don't really want to do, because I feel like I personally have a fairly strong eye for what works in a business, what doesn't, branding wise, as far as like logo design, or is it like stupid what you're putting out, or like the business I work at, I have a lot of qualms with how they treat their social media and their marketing. They're not doing as good as they totally could be. And I have some ideas about that. Of course, they're not going to hear it out from me because I'm the 19-year-old kid that, or maybe they might. I don't know. I don't really want to talk to my GM about it because I don't care that much about, well, I guess I kind of do. I don't know. It's hard to kind of take the angle with a business that's been around for 70 years and like, hey, do you want to change it all for me? But I do have insight, so maybe that's something I bring up to them eventually at some point. But yeah, like I can see a lot of flaws in where they're wanting to do their stuff, and it's a lot easier to influence somebody smaller, like one of my buddies that does all my tattoos. Like if I give him a strategy, he's a lot more likely to follow it because he's kind of starting out and he doesn't really have a lot to lose if it doesn't work out. But yeah, my problem is kind of relying too much on what I think is best, because what I think is best is not always right. I think I have a good idea for it. I just need to find some way where I can either make it specific to people without it solely being just my input for it, or get to a point to where I know a lot of stuff about every industry and different approaches to take, or like how to build popularity or more business or whatever sort of growth they're looking for in multiple industries. Like I have to know a lot about building businesses to recommend that to people, or I gotta find some way to make it personalized, but not like, damn, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Do you kind of get my point though? Like I can't like just make it based off, oh, I think this works well, because it might not, and it might, you know, not work well, and I might not know what to do in a certain situation, and it's, you know, I don't want to be giving people advice that's gonna hurt them, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at on this. Yeah, I gotta kind of figure out what I want to do with the other channel as well. Um, like I know I want that to be the more kind of like content creator-ish type platform, but what exactly I'm putting on there, my main hang up is not wanting to edit a lot because it takes a lot of time and a lot of thought. But we'll see. Either I grow a pair and just decide to do that and it's gonna eat up a lot of my time editing, or maybe I can find another way to kind of cut down some editing time. For now, it's just simple cuts, cutting out all the ums and buts and long pauses and me thinking and whatnot. But we'll kind of work through it. That's what this channel's for, is me working through it and figuring it out, and you guys get to watch me be an idiot along the way. But yeah, look out for new video on there. It's Monday now. Sometime this week I'll put a new video on there. I'll probably just be posting shit on here just for fun, and then I'll probably put my wisdom teeth video on here too, as long as I don't say anything like too confidential. I don't think I did. I gotta rewatch the video. But yeah, that's been my time. We're working through it. We'll figure it out. Thank you for watching if you're watching this. Yeah. See you around.